Hey, so I know I did that live stream where we were going over all the videos that I want to make, but there's been a change of plans because, I'm sort of trying to improve my life. And I've realized that if I turn on my computer too early in the day, I get easily distracted, but also like my energy is super low and I'm more likely to nap. Like, even if I feel like I don't need to nap that day, if I sit down at this computer and just, catch up on my emails and other messages or whatever, after a while, I just sort of get really drowsy and then I have to have a nap anyway. And then, in the afternoons, I also just get super distracted and don't get a lot done. So I'm actually banning myself from turning the computer on before dinner. I did try, like, I avoided turning it on in the morning and then I turned it on in the afternoon. I don't actually remember why I turned it on, but then I just ended up wasting heaps of time. Whereas today, I resisted in both my free slots, around Triton's nap times. So the morning I was in the studio doing art, and then the afternoon I was in the studio doing art. You can follow some of this stuff in my Instagram stories, because apparently that's something I'm doing at the moment. I don't know why I suddenly started posting more there. But anyway, no, I did the 2 sessions in the studio and then had dinner and then turned on my computer. And I just feel like I got a lot more done today. Like, even in between with Triton, like, I had my lunch and I did his nails and then I did some work in the garden. Like, I actually did liquid fertilizer for my bonsai and my cuttings, which I've been neglecting. But like, so I was super productive today, like doing a lot of art, probably too much art because my hands started to hurt. And so I'm like, in the afternoon session, maybe I should do music. Or read. I could read a book. I've got like this mystery book. I don't know what it is, but hopefully it's not the the one that I haven't finished yet. Which, yeah, is just did not going well. I mean, like, it started to get interesting, but because it started off so whiny, and just like lost me. And it's also like, to oversimplify, gay furry porn, almost. Not exactly, but like, it's, yeah, just not where I thought it was gonna be. And it's the second in a series, so hell knows what I'm missing. Anyway, no, like, I should use the afternoon session to do something else. And yeah, so getting art done, potentially getting music done. Maybe I'll actually end up releasing my next song. It's been a while. And just sort of getting on top of my life. Like, I do feel like I'm actually finally making progress. It's been hard, but since getting Triton, I'm out and about more. And, because he's so cute and because he goes like everywhere, he's not scared like Hope was. Like, I'm actually getting out there and going to more places, talking to more people, getting known by people. I struggle to recognize other people, and so they tend to recognize me, and I don't remember what I've already said to them, but, yeah, no, people are starting to recognize me and him. We're connecting with the world in some kind of a way, I guess. I'm just not very good at my end of it. But yeah, no, like, I'm getting out and about more. He's gotten me, like, he got me to start driving again. I haven't driven him anywhere in a while, but I've been able to do other driving that I needed to do, which is kind of big after not doing that for ages. It helps that the car's fixed now, though. Because it was not running well before, and it just didn't feel entirely safe before. My parents are so blasé. We only got it fixed because I was like, hey, this car has a lot of problems. Anyway, yeah, no, I'm doing that, and I'm also just like, I don't know, I feel like I'm actually improving my life a bit more, and because I'm getting out and about more, not just for Triton anymore, I'm getting out in different ways. Not like, not everything is going perfectly. Like, obviously the speed dating was not the right thing for me, but in general, I'm getting out into the world more, and I think it's helping. Trying to just like reconnect with life and challenging that whole schizoid thing where you just want to keep to yourself. Because, like, when you think about it logically, what is schizoid? It's a defense mechanism, especially for me, being the trauma-based side of things. Like, the more schizophrenia type of schizoid, I don't know, but for my type of schizoid, logically, it's a defense mechanism that's gone awry. And, you know, if it's not helpful anymore, then I need to challenge it, even though my instinct is not to do the things that I'm doing. And I think it is helping. Cross fingers, because I do go through phases of my life where I'm less depressed, and I can get a little bit hopeful, but then for whatever reason I crash again, often out of tiredness. And also, I should put an asterisk, the past 2 nights I've slept a bit better, so maybe that's why I'm a bit more optimistic at the moment. Until the next day that I don't get enough sleep, and then maybe I'll be like, nah, shit, I'm not doing any of this. But anyway, at the moment, I think the change of plans, like just not being at the computer, wasting my time drowning in whatever. And, you know, sometimes I just end up scrolling aimlessly as well, and just, I don't know, internet hypnosis. It's not good for me. That's not to say that I'm not doing any internet, because I do have my phone. And so when I was in the studio doing the art, sometimes I put on music, but sometimes I also put on YouTube videos, and I'm only half paying attention to them. But that's not what I'm doing here. Like, you know, I got art done instead of more Ken, black belt Ken. So it's actually more productive to do it that way, even though it's a tiny screen, but I'm not even looking at the screen, so it doesn't matter. So I'm still, like, doing those things. It's just less distracted. Like, I'm not seeing the notifications from Facebook all the time, because I don't have social media notifications on my phone. So I have to manually check that way, whereas on my PC I tend to leave Facebook open, and then you can see in the thing, and, you know, it's distracting when you're trying to do something else and a little notification pops up. Not like the actual notification, but, you know, like the title of the tab or whatever, and it starts saying you've got a new message. And there's just so many ways to get distracted on that, whereas with the phone I can kind of only do one thing at once. That's one reason I don't like phones, because it's hard to multitask on it. But actually, for focusing, not multitasking is better. So yeah, I get less distracted, I'm being more productive, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so the part where this affects YouTube is if I'm only turning on my computer in the afternoons, in the evenings, after dinner. So like after 7, usually like 7:30. If that, it just means I have less time to do YouTubey things, and like that's not the only thing I do on this computer either. Like, I've got this Instagram post that I still haven't like actually sat down to figure out what I want to write, because I kind of overthink my Instagram posts as well. Like, the stories are easy, I just pop them up, whatever. But the actual posts, because I'm trying to make my, you know, the little feed not look completely shit, because like Instagram is more of an aesthetic platform and it is more of a shallow platform, so I'm like, well, if I'm on it I should play the game. Whereas Facebook, I post all kinds of crap, especially like in my personal Facebook. The public stuff, slightly more polished, but not always. Anyway, Facebook, chaos. Instagram, bit more polished. So like, point being, as well as YouTube, in that after dinner time, and I basically have 2 hours to get stuff done that way. Because Triton gets up at about 9:30 and wants to go and do his night routine, and then afterwards, like it's 10:30 now, I've put him to bed, and I should really just go to bed instead of filming this. But yeah, like ideally, once I've sent him to bed, he's usually in bed by 10, I should come back, do my stretches, brush my teeth, do other things in the bathroom, come back, change pajamas, whatever, go to bed, and try and be in bed before 11. I don't think that's going to happen tonight. But yeah, like, it basically means I'm only going to have 2 hours a day to work on my computer at all, which includes catching up with emails and other messages, because I tend to prefer to do more message type stuff on a big screen where I can type with a real keyboard. I hate the feeling of doing the touch screen, and it's like small and it's inaccurate and it's slow, and even doing like the swipe thing on the touchscreen keyboard, it's just, I don't like it. And yeah, it's slow and inaccurate. I would rather just, you know, type on my keyboard. Anyway, yeah, so there's a lot of things that I try and get done in that time, and then what? How much time do I have left for YouTube? Not a lot. Now, there's some days where, like, what I'm talking about with this routine is when I've got nothing else going on in the day. Basically, my day is I get up, I have breakfast, I walk Triton, and do a few other things. He goes for a nap. Then I have my roughly 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours in the studio doing some art. and then lunchtime and more Triton stuff, sometimes brushing him, sometimes doing his nails, sometimes we're just chilling. And then once he's back having a nap again, then back to the studio for another 2 hours, 2.5 hours if I'm lucky. And then then we got dinner and all of that routine, and then finally I get my 2 hours at the computer. Do you see what I mean? So what I'm saying is like, yeah, I've got all these videos and video ideas that I'm hopefully eventually going to get to, but it might take a lot longer than I was planning. And I'm like, you know, do I want to post a shitty short every damn day? Just like I had this goal to try and post something every day, but now I think my priorities have shifted because I'm seeing, at least for now, a little bit of improvement in just how I'm feeling when I do more studio stuff and stay away from the computer and just not be drowsy and feel like I'm wasting my time. Because like if I sleep, if I need a nap, I'm losing a huge part of my day just trying to nap and recover and just do life. And I don't know if sometimes that affects my ability to sleep later that night and then it self-perpetuates. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, no, I think, like, YouTube is good for some things, but I think it's better for when I'm doing less well and more inclined to just sort of zone out at the computer and be like, oh shit, I better edit something to feel productive. But if I'm feeling productive in other ways, then YouTube is less of a priority for me. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to manage it with only 2 hours a day, and that's not even 2 hours for YouTube. That's like 2 hours to get all the life admin done, because that's also when I should be like checking my banking, buying things that I need to buy mainly for Triton to replenish all his supplies, because he's like the most spoiled thing ever. And then at some point, so like maybe I only have an hour for YouTube, and also like being in the studio more, I tend to update Patreon more, and so that takes a little bit extra time, and then fitting in the Instagram, and then if I finally finish, like, you know, if I get in the studio to just read, maybe I read my own poetry book, and then I finally release it. Well, there are a few things I need to update, which means I've got to get Microsoft Office and then make those edits and then get another book printed. Or, I don't know, maybe just release it. But, yeah, like, there's so many things that I need this computer to do. And YouTube is sort of sinking down their priorities already. I mean, this is also what I mean about my chaos, is like I was so sure last week that I was going to do more YouTube, and then like I don't know why I'm doing better at the moment. Like you know, it's not like anything significant has really changed as far as I'm aware. I'm still kind of doing the same things that I've been trying to work on, but for some reason now I'm like, no, I want to get in the art studio. Apparently that's where my brain is at right now. So I'm gonna run with that. Yeah, so I don't know how many of these, or how quickly I'm gonna get to these, and if I leave them too long, I'm gonna forget what everything was. And I do have some things that I want to talk about that are like rumbling in my mind, and I'm like, shit, when am I gonna have a fucking time? Because also it's hard with the people here. I don't know, maybe if they're all out, I could try and film something on my phone while I'm with Triton, but he can be very distracting, so that's hard as well. I could maybe live stream if I'm doing some bonsai stuff, but that's often like on a whim, and sometimes I'm only doing that for a few minutes anyway, so in that case, no point. But yeah, so I'm sort of rethinking how I'm going to do the whole YouTube thing, and just my life in general. I don't know, like, YouTube is very much connecting to the world online, but maybe I'm feeling like online isn't right for me at this point in time. Like, maybe I'm looking for more real world stuff, but like real world, but still kind of on my own if I'm doing the art. But like art is like tangible, like it's an actual real world thing. The paper and the little pens and paints that I'm using, that's a tangible thing. That's what I mean by real world, as opposed to digital, doing whatever I do. For some reason, I just feel like doing more of that stuff. And then potentially music, but I don't know. I'll see how I go with that, because like that is sitting at a computer. It's not this computer. But that computer, it doesn't have internet, because it's like from 2009 and I'm too scared to connect it to the internet now. Good old snow leopard. yeah, but because it's not connected to the internet, I'm not going to get distracted, hopefully, in the same way as when I'm sitting at this computer. It's like also like when there's an email comes in, it pops up, and then I get distracted by whatever's in the email. And also sometimes I can end up looking up stuff and just get carried away looking up stuff for too long, which like I can do on my phone as well, but it's more annoying to do on my phone, so I'm less inclined to get bogged down. And also when I'm with Triton and if he's just like chewing something, I will often get out my phone and I can get some of that stuff out of the way. So like I don't do all my life admin when I'm on the computer. Like, if I turn it on after dinner, I can get some things done on my phone, but it varies day to day, and it's not really enough. Like I still this evening after dinner spent quite a while going through all my emails because I don't like doing emails on the phone. That took a while, and trying to read the things that are relevant and toss the things that aren't. And yeah, that's why I'm filming this at 10:30, or it's 10:39 now. Yeah, so I'm gonna think about it. And, also, I think also anytime I post a Schizoid video and all the Schizoids turn up and they're all like, oh, this is what we want to watch, I think it actually puts me off YouTube sometimes because it's like too much of that audience. Too much of any audience puts me off, but I think the Schizoid audience puts me off more in some ways. I don't know, maybe it's because of the trying to relate to me too much, and it just like rubs me the wrong way because I'm like, yeah. And I also wonder if some of my mood at the moment is because I have had all the Schizoids come back for that video, and because I'm not a fan of communities in general, but also the Schizoid community. Schizoid community? Like, what kind of paradox is that? But I think like this is also a thing with DID for ages, like why I didn't even think I did any dissociation at all is because I look at the people doing that stuff, and especially way back before people like Dissocia did, who was just like before show ponies like that, it was like Rainbow Bubbles or Rainbow's Bubble, I can never remember which one, and I'm just like, I do not want to be associated with that. I think the channel is still up there somewhere. I'm just like, what is this? And so then I look at all the Schizoids who come by. Like, I don't even watch any Schizoid content. Like, once I figured out, yes, this is the diagnosis, like that's all I watched, was just to sort of check that it was the diagnosis. And then after that, I'm like, I cannot watch these people. And then, yeah, no, having the comments come up, at least the ones who are chatty. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of silent Schizoids that watch me and they don't piss me off because they're actually doing the Schizoid thing of leaving me the fuck alone, and keeping to themselves, but sort of being like, I don't know, curious, I guess. I don't know why the silent ones watch me. But the noisy ones, it just rubs me the wrong way. And sometimes it's like the obsessiveness that some of them have with being schizoid. I'm just like, why are you so obsessed? Like, I get it, you want to figure yourself out, but like to that degree, like it's almost to the level of like how autistic people have special interests, and that's why I think some in that group are actually autistic and not schizoid, because I know there's a lot of self-diagnosis that goes around, and if someone who's autistic has a special interest to do with schizoid, I can see them just thinking that's what is right and like refusing to believe that it might be autism instead. Like, obviously it varies autistic person to autistic person, and I know people across the spectrum nowadays. I used to only know like the most severe cases, but now I've met, more of the, I don't even know what you call them. We used to call them high functioning. Anyway, no, like I've got friends who have autism, because now everyone has autism. I don't mean to be dismissive, but it's just, yeah, anyway, so like, relatively normal people, but yeah, no, there are somewhere in that spectrum, that sort of stubbornness is there, the misguided stubbornness. Anyway, yeah, no, just something about the schizoid community in particular just rubs me the wrong way, and I don't know, maybe it is because they're trying to be too familiar, but there's also like some of the defeated attitudes some have, and just like really overdoing the obsession with the disorder. And if you do that, you're kind of going to self-perpetuate what's going on there. Like, I feel like a lot of schizoids are using the diagnosis as a reason to not make any effort to change. Like, I know naturally we don't want to change, but they're also kind of doubling down on it because that's your diagnosis. And it's like, you're not going to fix your life doing that. Anyway, bit of a rant. Everything I do turns into a rant. I can't help it. I also went on a rant about, I won't talk about the government. I just, like, the reason I don't trust them is not what they think. Anyway, that'll be another discussion. But point being, I'm sort of like reprioritizing things in my life, and I want to get into doing more creative stuff. And YouTube doesn't necessarily feel creative. YouTube is more of a vent, just getting stuff out of my head. Now, there are things that I want to get out of my head, but I don't know, like, I think because I'm writing my diary for my psychologist, that has gotten a lot of things out of my head, so I just don't feel like I need to do as much YouTube, and YouTube takes time. Because, like, I have to film it, and then I have to upload it on Australian internet speeds. And then, which isn't as bad as it used to be, but oh my god. And then I also have to, like, I don't know, write a title and get a little bit too obsessed with the metadata, even though it doesn't really matter that much these days. And go through and make sure it hasn't put a gazillion ads in it, which actually that last live stream, I don't think I remembered to check whether it did that to the ads. Put cards in and blah, 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 like, there's all that stuff. It's actually a lot more than it used to be, and I'm a completionist, so I try and get most of that done, and then it takes ages to just upload anything. Like, if I'm gonna be good, I won't upload this tonight. This is the 29th of October, 10:45 p.m. Sydney time. I will just get this uploading and go to bed, but I'll fill out the metadata tomorrow. So there won't be a video today, I guess. YouTubing takes time, and I think venting a few things to my psychology. Shit, I haven't done my psychology diary for the day. That's another thing. If I don't turn on this computer, that's where I usually take my psychology notes. I can access it on my phone, but I hate typing on that thing and then being distracted by doing art as well, and sort of Instagram as well. I just, forgot about that. So that's another thing that's going to take up my time. Turn on my computer. I got to remember, like, what did I feel today, and what was I doing when I felt that, and other relevant things. I don't know. Wow. But I think because I'm doing that, I feel less like I need to rant a heap of stuff onto the internet. And then also, like, I do post rants on Facebook privately. So there are other ways that I get stuff off my chest. And just at the moment, YouTube is feeling a little bit less necessary, and trying to just figure out what to spend my time on. I only have a certain amount of time. It's like you're playing your video game and you can only put your experience points to certain things, and you've got to choose, okay, what am I going to skill up in? And I feel like at the moment, YouTube isn't where I want to spend all my skill points, or time points in this case. I want to skill up in the art and maybe get back into the music and finally release, like, my next song is actually, I really like it. Now, I can't be bothered to re-record the vocals, and I've got a whole rationale for why I shouldn't re-record the vocals, because it's the authenticity of its journey and, other art wanker speech. But I need to just mix it. And then once I mix it, I can put it out there, right? And then it'll be done, and you can hear this song. Patreon's already heard it quite a while ago, because it's just how long. And then I can move on to the next song. And then if I get enough going, maybe I'll actually fucking gig again, because I don't feel many good feelings, but when I perform, at least I get that adrenaline, and then I come off, and then it's the relief. And, that's a thing in the world, and that's something that'll help me get out there and maybe not connecting with the world and connecting with people, but interacting with the world and interacting with people, because we are a social species, and we do live in a real world, and the digital world is just like it helps in some ways, but it can also just be a recipe for doing nothing with your life and wasting away and being depressed and wondering why nothing changes, because all you do is sit on your butt. You kind of have to do different things if you want your life to stop sucking. And I've tried a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff hasn't worked. But now that I'm finding something that might be working, I'm gonna go do that instead of spend all my time on the computer and wasting away. And so that's going to affect my YouTubing. And I don't know, maybe after filming this, I might just have a quick look and see if there's any Snapchat filters that make me inspired, but I feel like I probably shouldn't. I should just go to bed. Because like the thing I posted last night, the pudding thing, was just like ridiculous low effort content. I was singing, right? And I'm like, oh, I haven't posted anything. Maybe I should see if there's anything on Snapchat. And that came up, and I was already singing and like wobbling along. And I'm like, oh, this is fun. I should just record it. And that's how that piece of garbage content happened. Yeah, I don't know. Should I. Question for the viewer: should I keep posting like just random shitty shorts, or like maybe like a short where I just summarize my day, or I don't know, because like that stuff is a lot easier to post because I just chuck in a few tags pretty much and it's mostly done. Or should I just not post and just save myself the time for other things? Maybe use that time for editing if needed, or doing the metadata for longer videos like this. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to prioritize my time. But those are some thoughts. I've got to do my night stretches as well. So I've got to do my psych diary. I'm going to do my night stretches. I gotta brush my teeth. Will I wash my face? I can't be bothered. I did a decent wash last night. I'll just do the Benzac and the moisturizer. And then I gotta go to bed. I'm not getting to bed. It's 10 minutes till 11, but at least if I can get to bed before midnight, that'll be an achievement.